What's the invoice say?
Rate $85.
5 quantity, right?
Yes.
And you said that means 5 hours, right?
Yes.
All right, well, that's a lie, isn't it?
No.
It's not a lie. We just went through the whole thing, and we talked about the fact that at most it was 3 hours. And you put 5 on there, didn't you?
What happens when a simple home repair bill turns into a courtroom battle over fuel and imaginary hours? Today, we're stepping into the vault for a case that starts with a $31,000 scam and ends with a contractor digging a hole so deep, even his tools couldn't get him out. You're about to watch a judge lose his absolute patience as a business owner tries to justify a 5-hour invoice for a 1-hour job. From portal to portal, charging to billing for the gas in the truck, this is a masterclass in how to bury your own case. Stay tuned, because the moment the judge sees the fake papers at the end is a total game changer.
Again,
Justin Kincaid?
all right. Ma'am, your name? Sir, your name?
Antonio Karatny.
And sir, your name? I'm sorry, your first name?
Dale.
Dale Hope. Did you perform? I'm going to ask.
Notice how the judge is immediately looking for the guy who did the work. In legal proceedings, specifically small claims or contract disputes, hearsay doesn't cut it. The person in the suit wasn't on the property, and the judge is already signaling that without the actual technician, this contractor's testimony is on shaky ground. We're seeing a classic move here. The company owner is trying to testify for an employee who isn't even with the company anymore. This is a massive red flag for any court. If you can't produce the worker, you can't prove the work.
I'm going to show you this picture here. John, did you talk to your employees?
Yes. The pictures were sent to me.
Who sent them to you?
The employee at the time.
Is he still with you? Did he get fired?
Yes.
When?
He had to work for me in September.
Look at that picture.
Yes.
What did he do?
Boarded up window.
How long do you think that took?
I mean,
I couldn't, listen, if you want me to, if I need to, we'll subpoena him. How much time, do you know what the work they did? Have you done that kind of work before?
yes. It was,
How long would that have taken?
well, a lot goes into.
I'm not-
It's not just the board up window.
I want to know how long you think that took him. What did he do? He put up that Viz Queen there
How long it would have took him to board the actual window up?
to do the whole thing?
Probably the whole entire job completely from the call. Okay, 3 to 4 hours.
What would he have had to do?
Go to the store, pick up material. After the job was done, dispose of the glass that we had to take out.
Did he really just say fuel? The audacity here is staggering. In a professional service contract, overhead like fuel and insurance is typically built into the hourly rate or a flat service fee. You don't usually see a line item for gas unless it's a long-haul transport. The judge's reaction is priceless. He's catching on to the fact that this contractor is trying to nickel and dime the defendant for basic business expenses. Watch how the judge pivots. He's about to dismantle this factored-in logic piece by piece. Would you pay a contractor just to fill up their tank?
Refueled?
That's what the company would charge.
Listen to what I'm telling you. If he got a call today from Mr. Karatny at your office, you told dispatch this guy, and then tomorrow I called and said, I want you to do this same work. He wouldn't have had to refuel 2 days ago, bro, would he? Do you get my question? You're saying he had to refuel? You're charging the guy to refuel? Every customer you charge to refuel?
Fuel to get to the job, it's all factored into the hourly.
You said he had to refuel. Did I misunderstand you?
No, I'm telling you that it costs fuel to get you the job and go get it.
Well, that's different than saying he had to refuel.
Right, no, I didn't say he had to refuel.
I thought you said he had to refuel.
No.
Did you not say
The
that?
cost is fuel, going to the store, driving to the
How
job.
much you charge in fuel?
There's no, it's factored into the $85 an hour. Insurance, fuel.
Where's your office? At Ecorse Road?
The city.
Do you charge him portal to portal? Does a customer get charged portal to portal? Your office got a call, right?
I got a call, yes.
Right. Were you at the office?
No,
Do you know where your employee was? Who was the employee that worked on this?
garage job. They-
Now we're getting into the minimum charge trap. The contractor is backpedaling, trying to claim a $500 minimum regardless of the time spent. But wait, earlier he said he was charging by the hour. This contradiction is a legal nightmare. If you tell a customer one price structure and bill them for another, you're looking at a breach of transparency. The judge is visibly frustrated because the math isn't matching. It feels like the contractor is making up the rules as he goes. And in a courtroom, because insurance is expensive, isn't a valid legal defense for overbilling.
Well, you said you're charging by the hour though, right?
Charged by the hour on this job.
Why on this job?
Well, most boards are charged by the hour, but understand.
Are or aren't?
That's how they're factored in is, it's a $500 minimum regardless of the hours or material.
Jeez. I don't get it.
Insurance is expensive. A lot of things go into that, so can't really send an employee payroll taxes, you can't send an employee off, or much less than that.
Your Honor, may I say something? So this queen is mine. They didn't do that.
This what?
This queen you were talking about, that was already there. That's mine and it's part of the house.
I still haven't gotten a good answer on what exactly they do. They drive to the property.
Yeah,
They got this
did.
hang on. What do they do first, Mr. Holbrook? They're boarding up. You said there's a lot more that goes into it. They have to go get the materials.
Yes,
The materials consist of the wood, right?
yes.
What else do they consist of?
Sure.
What else?
The defendant finally speaks up, and it's a bombshell. She's claiming the materials they're billing her for were already there. If the Bisqueen plastic was already part of the house, and the contractor is charging for it, we've moved from bad billing to potential fraud. The contractor's defense? It's a $475 bill. That's cheap if you ask me. That is the absolute worst thing to say to a judge. Dismissing a person's money as cheap while you're being accused of padding the bill is pure arrogance. This is the exact moment where the contractor loses the room.
It might be, all I asked the question was, what do they have to do? You said they have to go get materials. I said, okay. Then you said they have to refuel. Then I got into asking the questions about how often they have to refuel. If he got one done tomorrow and me the day after, would you have to refuel for both? You said no. Then you said you're talking about the charge for the fuel. Now you want to charge for the tools. This is an hourly basis. I'm just asking. I want to assume that the gas is in there, unless you remember the gas not being in the truck.
Okay,
If he went and got the materials, which consist only of the wood, right? I mean, I get the fact that you got tools,
Okay.
but he only had to go buy wood and screws, right?
yeah.
Then he goes over to the property and he sees a window knocked out. What would he have to do to complete the job?
Remove the glass. And cut the plywood, install it, seal up the window, clean up.
And how long do you think that would take for a job like that in the picture?
Couple hours, hour to two.
So I showed something more that said,
The quantity 5 reveal. This is the smoking gun. The contractor admitted the job takes maybe 2 hours, but the invoice clearly lists a quantity of 5. This is why you always keep your paperwork. The judge is digging for that specific piece of paper because he knows he's caught the contractor in a lie. Note the shift in the judge's tone. He's no longer asking questions. He's building the coffin for this case. If it takes 2 hours to work and 30 minutes to drive, where did those other 2 hours go? The silence from the contractor says everything.
But I informed you that we have a charge to go to the store.
then why even have a quantity rate of $85 an hour? If you're just going to charge 500, why not just tell them it's 500?
Well, I would have told the person who called me that It would have been around $500.
But he didn't call you, right?
No.
She called you. Ms. Fondrick, right? Did you call him? Who called?
Our production manager.
Your Honor, they did not remove the glass.
I don't need to hear anymore. I'm just getting disgusted with this whole situation.
Me too. The wood was already in there. You could tell it's not cut 48 to 48.
I don't need to hear anymore.
I apologize to the court. This is taking so long.
You don't have to worry about anything, nor do they. It's fine. This is what I do for a living. What did you tell him in relation to the amount that it was going to cost?
It's gonna be around $500.
And you acknowledge she told you.
She said, yeah, it'd be around $500, yes.
And that was before anybody had come on, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you,
The judge is actually giving him a life raft here, telling him to get his ducks in a row. This is a stern warning that these business practices are bordering on predatory. When a judge tells you that your verbal agreements and billing willy-nilly are a problem, he's telling you that you're lucky you aren't being investigated for more than just a small claims dispute. The defendant is a retiree on Social Security. The power imbalance here makes the contractor's attempts to inflate the bill look even more predatory. Who do you think is in the wrong here? The man trying to get paid, or the woman being overcharged?
but I need to tell people why I do what I'm gonna do here. If you're telling them $500, that doesn't mean you can just add hours to an invoice. You- You just got done telling me it was an hour or two. He wasn't coming from
You
Livonia.
asked how long it took to install the wood. It took an hour or two to install. the
I
wood.
get
It
it.
didn't take an hour or two just to take the receipt.
You're not gonna convince me that he was longer at Home Depot or Lowe's or any other place for more than a half an hour? And you're not gonna convince me that he took more than a half an hour to get there. Period. If you're gonna charge $135 an hour, then tell people that. You don't get to just make up willy-nilly. It's gonna be $500, so you adjust hourly rates. I mean, this is just common sense to me, boys and girls. And then you can go out of here and say whatever you want. The judge is stupid. The judge doesn't get it. The judge didn't compensate me for my tools. Okay. Okay. I get the fact that you're using your tools. I get the fact that you're driving a vehicle there. I get the fact that it was an hour or two. I get the fact, so I'm gonna give you the benefit.
Yeah, then the other hour they just said for going to the store.
Yeah, then why'd you bill him for $5?
Well, as he is, it just.
Wait a minute, I wanna know why you billed him for $5. Because you thought the insurance company was gonna pay the bill?
No.
Well, then why'd you bill him for $5 if you're,
Minimum no matter what.
did you tell anybody that?
Yes. And he just
Well,
admitted.
then, so let's say it's a 4-hour bill minimum and you adequately conveyed that. Why'd you bill for $5?
4 hour minimum and then the hour it took for the job.
Now it only took an hour for the job?
It was roughly $500, what the estimate was supposed to be. To do the job.
They didn't complete it. They'll-
I don't wanna hear anymore.
Sorry.
My inclination was correct the whole time. That's all I can tell everybody. I was wrong at first because I thought they did more. I thought they put a window in. I didn't think that you put the window.
I bought,
Stop it. I don't want to hear anymore.
But the window wasn't the only thing.
Stop. Listen to me. You buried yourself here.
I gave a rate before we went to the job.
You told them about 500, right? You billed an hourly rate at 85 bucks an hour. That's the invoice that you sent out, right? It's clear from listening to you, you didn't spend 5 hours.
This is it. The come here, John moment. When a judge calls you by your first name and tells you to come here to look at your own invoice, you know you've messed up. The judge is explicitly calling the invoice a lie. He's pointing out that the math, 4-hour minimum plus 1 hour of work, is just a creative way to reach a 500 target that wasn't earned. This isn't just about 500 anymore. It's about the integrity of the business. The contractor is still trying to argue, but the judge has seen enough. He's ready to bring the gavel down on this nonsense.
Right?
Yes,
And you said that means 5 hours, right?
yes,
All right, well, that's a lie, isn't it?
no,
It's not a lie. We just went through the whole thing. And we talked about the fact that at most it was 3 hours. And you put 5 on there, didn't you?
yes.
And then you said 4-hour minimum plus the 1 hour they were working. What in the world does that mean? Give me that invoice back.
All the time, it's people.
I'm sorry,
All the time, that's what you do.
sir. I don't know. Doesn't take you off the hook completely, because as far as I'm concerned, you still agreed to pay $500, but that's going to be the extent of the judgment. $500, you get your court costs, and we'll go from there. So, sir, can you pay that today?
no, I can pay it next month.
What day?
It's third Wednesday of the month. I'm on social security, I'm retired.
$562. You're gonna pay this by in full by February the 13th. You can do that, right?
Yes, at the third Wednesday. I don't have a calendar.
No, it's not the third Wednesday. The third Wednesday is the 18th. I'll make it the 19th.
If you do that, that would be good.
Okay? Jennifer, give a copy of the.
In a final ruling that brings some much-needed justice, the judge capped the payment at the original 500 agreement, essentially stripping away all the fluff and fake hours the contractor tried to add. This case serves as a massive reminder. Always get a written estimate and never be afraid to question an invoice that doesn't match the work performed. The contractor walked out with his fake papers, but the defendant walked out with her dignity and a fair payment plan. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.